Yesterday afternoon, the Pentagon announced that they had shot down a flying object over Alaska. It was 40,000 feet in the air and floating, they said. It was much smaller than the Chinese spy balloon that we covered last week, and they don't know who it belongs to. Or if they do, they haven't told us yet. Before we get any deeper into this, make sure you like and subscribe on this channel here. Turn your notifications on. They like to censor us. You can check out my weekly show. Episode just dropped today. That's Based. OutlawStreamers.com, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Rumble. We post clips of the episodes on the channel here. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok, and then, of course, this YouTube channel here. We're drinking coffee. I wanted to do this much, much earlier today, but I was playing poker till 4 in the morning. And it was just like, I just kept buying back in because I'm a little bit of a degenerate, So I thought that was going to be my hand, but, I lost. And I had to get up and go get my fiance Starbucks to make up for all the money I just lost last night. It's all good. We're here now. That's what matters. It's fine. So yes, the U.S. military shot down a floating object. They said it was cylindrical. So I didn't know cylindrical was a word, but it was cylindrical, silver, and floating 40,000 feet in the air. Now, we're all thinking the same thing. Did Joe Biden just start an intergalactic war? Like that's what's on all of our minds, right? Did we just go to war with the Martians? Is this War of the Worlds? Like, we're all thinking aliens because no one's claimed it yet. I've got the news up right here. No one's claimed this object. Nobody knows where it came from. No countries. Like when China did the spy balloon thing, they were like, yeah, that's us. Our bad. They lie. Like, obviously it was a spy balloon, but they lie. Or they told us it was them. So who is this? Like, whose is this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It was 40,000 feet. I don't know a lot about drones. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I don't think like your average civilian drone, that some kid screwing around at his house could reach 40,000 feet. A mile's 37,000. We all know the Mile High Club from the Nickelback song. That's where I learned how many feet a mile was. But I don't think it's like a civilian drone. So who is this? What did they shoot down? They said it was much smaller. I saw one report said it was like the size of a suitcase that they shot down with fighter jets with an F-22 and an A-9X missile out of a base in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm going to tell you, if they shot they're going to recover it today. That's what they said. If they shot something the size of a suitcase with a missile out of a fighter jet, there's not going to be much to recover. Like, whatever it is, it's like gone from existence. There's nothing left. So who was it? That's the big question, is who does it belong to? Also, I watched some of their press conference on it yesterday, right? Because I was like, oh my God, we're going to war with aliens. I watched some of their press conference yesterday, and they said they weren't 100% sure what it was, but they shot it anyway. These are the people that don't think you're responsible enough to have a pistol to defend your house, to defend your family. They blew something out of the sky with a fighter jet, and they didn't even know what it was. But hey, your Glock with 15 rounds in it, it's a semi-automatic, so that should be illegal. We can't trust you with that. Trust us with actual weapons of mass destruction, but you cannot be trusted with a 15-round magazine and a Glock. That's the idiocy we're dealing with here. So they shot it down. They didn't know what it was. They said Biden ordered the shoot down, but we know Biden didn't do that. We know it had nothing to do with Joe. He's not involved in that decision-making process. They may say he is to put on a good show, but he has nothing to do with it. So there's really three possibilities here, okay? There's three possibilities, and every one of them's a little bit more or less likely than the other. So the first possibility is aliens. I mean, come on. Do you really think we're not alone in the universe? We don't even know how far it goes. We don't even know how big it is, right? Supposedly it's ever expanding. You really think there's no aliens out there? It could be. That's the least likely. I want to make that clear. We're having a little fun with the aliens thing. It could. I'm not going to rule it out, but it's probably not it. Number 2, it is a foreign country. And it was some type of drone or something like that. Because like the military grade, industrial grade drones, those can get up that high. I was talking like civilian drones. So there's a possibility that it is like another country that was spying on us. They said it penetrated U.S. airspace before they detected it too. So it could be another country. It's weird that they haven't claimed it because it seems to be the popular thing to do to saber rattle at the U.S., right? Because Joe Biden's not respected on the international stage. So it seems to be like if it was another country spying on us and we shot it down, they would have come out and claimed it. You know what I mean? Like it would have been like, hey, we're going to retaliate. And, nothing would actually happen. But it's fun to threaten the United States, right? Because they know we actually have the restraint to not invade invade right away, right? It would cause global chaos to that degree. So it could be another country. And it's maybe, I don't know, maybe it was Iran. And it was just one of those things where it's like, oh, crap, they caught us. I didn't think they would catch that. Oops, my bad. We're just going to pretend this didn't happen. We're not going to claim this. What is there to claim? They destroyed it. They evaporated it. And there's nothing left of it. So it could be that. And then the third possibility, and honestly, I'm leaning toward this one right now. Because let's be real, it's probably not aliens. It's never anything that fun. And again, if it were another country, it would have been claimed by now. We would have heard about it. There would have been somebody saber rattling and making big threats and all that crap. We haven't heard anything. No one's claimed it. They haven't come out and said it was anybody. And they knew about obviously a balloon's a little bit different than a drone or whatever, but they knew who that belonged to right away. So I don't think it's aliens. I don't think it's another country. What I think the most plausible scenario here is, the we've seen this with 9/11 where you had the FBI, the CIA, NYPD all had different pieces of information that probably would have prevented the attacks, but they didn't want to work together because they just are stubborn like that, and everyone wanted to be the one to crack the case. It's well known our government does not communicate particularly well. I think the most likely scenario here, it's Alaska. There's a lot of tests go on up in Alaska because there's not a lot of people there. Right? Despite what Joe Biden wants to say when he's talking about shooting the balloon down, how it wasn't safe to do over Alaska because Alaska's this big, densely populated, metropolitan New York City, San Francisco type area. But there's not a lot of people up there. So they do run a lot of tests up there for different types of aircraft, spy drones, stuff like that. So my guess, if you put a gun to my, and this is I don't have any information, obviously. This is my guess, right? This is my educated guess. You put a gun to my head and say, pick one. This is probably what I would say. My guess, since it hasn't been claimed by another country, and I don't think it's aliens, unfortunately, I think the most likely scenario here is some other element of our government had a black project or some type of test drone up in the air, some type of project they were testing that hadn't been communicated to the Pentagon, right? This is some new technology they were testing out, and the Pentagon saw it, freaked out, and blew it out of the sky because we're run by incompetent morons. If I had to guess, that would be my bet, that it was our own technology that had not been communicated to our brilliant leaders up in Washington. They saw it, freaked out, wanted to save face after they just got humiliated over the Chinese spy balloon thing, and were like, crap, blow it out of the sky now. Don't care what it is, shoot it. I think that's honestly the most likely thing. And we may never know that, or we won't know it for a long time until it's out of the news, and we're like, oh, okay. But I think that is probably the most likely scenario, that we shot our own thing down and had no clue. And it's going to be a huge embarrassment for this administration, like just about everything else they do. That's my guess. Gun to my head. That's what I would say. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit to it. We'll do a follow-up video on it. But if I had to guess, that's probably what I would say. Because we got CNN, we got Fox, we got NBC. We get our news from everywhere, right? They have a conservative spin on things, but I try to see what everyone's talking about. They said the officials have not characterized it as a balloon. It was shot down at 1:45 Eastern Standard Time yesterday. Came inside our territorial waters. Those waters right now are frozen, but inside territorial airspace and over territorial waters. Fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command took down the object within the hour. It was a success. They said it was a threat to civilian airspace, which, I mean, technically, like a bird could be a threat to civilian airspace, you know? So, I mean, I'm not going to mock them for that. It said Biden was first briefed on the object Thursday evening, as soon as the Pentagon had enough information. It did not appear to be self-maneuvering. It's unclear what it looks like or where it came from. On Friday, Ryder said it was traveling northeast across Alaska. He declined to provide physical characterization, only saying that it was about the size of a small car. So those are two completely different takes we've gotten. I've heard suitcase and small car. Like, that's a little bit of a difference. That's bigger than a drone if it's the size of a small car. Maybe it is aliens. I don't know. He didn't use F-15s, though. Those are reserved for us, right? For people with AR-15s, just so you know. They gotta keep those warm, ready to go, in case they need to use them on their citizens. We're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now. We don't know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know. So if it's the size of a small car, I don't think that's a drone. Again, if it's owned by another country, if it's owned by another country, we would have heard about it by now. They would have been freaking out, right? Unless they wanted to keep it a secret, but I don't know. Obviously, they don't care. China raised hell about us shooting it down, the balloon down over the Atlantic Ocean. Why wouldn't anyone else freak out? If it was owned by like a company, right? Like if Elon Musk was sending stuff up there, you know somebody like that would be freaking out. Hey, the federal government just shot my stuff down. Look at this. This is an attack on private companies by the federal government. They'd be throwing a fit. I don't think it's privately owned. I don't know who, like, I don't know what. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if I am. I don't know any private citizens that are flying around drones or whatever that was hovering, like they said, the size of a small car. So what was it? Again, as fun as it sounds, I don't think it's aliens, but I don't know. I think this is a colossal screw up on our end. I think we shot down our own technology. Let me know in the comments what you think it was. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I somewhere in between? I don't know. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel and this video. Turn the notifications on. Share it around if you're feeling generous. Go check out my show. I'll link it in the description. That's Base. Drops every Saturday. OutlawStreamers.com, Rumble, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Follow my socials. Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram. Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok. And then again, of course, subscribe to this channel. Show dates coming soon. Well, I got one tonight. If you're in the Omaha area, tonight, Beach House Bar and Grill, 9 p.m. Come through. Tickets are $10, cash at the door. Come on through. Thank you guys so much. Peace out and stay based.